Come in, the water's fine. So welcome to this beautiful, beautiful Sunday. We have a very special guest friend of mine here, flown in all the way from San Diego. I'm going to ask Jerry just to stand up for a minute so you can see him. This is my buddy I met at Reverend Edwin Gaines before I became a minister. You would have had an opportunity on Facebook to see some of his wonderful accolades. He is the president of ANTN, Affiliated Network, New Thought Network, thank you. And so we were in Chicago together, maybe almost 3 years now. And Jerry was so excited. I was midterm in my ministry. Things were wild and hairy and crazy, and I had no more capacity for one more thing. He said, let me introduce you to my folks because I want you to join us too. Took me 5 years, and now I'll be going to their conference in October. And Anton represents many of our different New Thought groups, which gives us an opportunity to share ideas, pray together, honor the New Thought movement, come up with ideas that we've never thought about before. So when you have an opportunity, maybe after service, give Jerry a hug. And he is doing a fabulous workshop. And he does it from a beautiful, heartfelt space. I'm staying. I hope you will eat and stay with us and enjoy this time together. And I do have, what do you call it, a POA, point of announcement or something? Who has our key to the front door from that little box? We can no longer let people in the building except those who, like me, who have a physical key. So if by chance you open the door for a special event, please take the key back to your locker. Okay, with all that being said, let's start this morning in prayer. And I'm going to invite you to close those outer eyes. Take a deep breath in and release. Take another breath in and release. For that sweet, succulent power of 3. One more breath in and release. I hold this space to be a holy place, whole and complete unto itself. That each and every person in here physically present, each person online, our Zoomies, each person who watches us later, know that this is your sanctuary, your place of authenticity. You are exactly in the right place at the right time, honoring who you are in the divinity, honoring each one of us in that divine presence, that power of love and compassion and generosity and creativity. And we have wonderful imaginations that we can take walks in our mind and see heavenly beauty, the mountains, the skies, the rain that we so desperately call for now. We hear and see the bunny rabbits and the young deer. We hear and watch after Mother Bear, keeping our trash cans tightly closed. Maybe hanging those bird feeders high or waiting until they go back into the mountains. We know the mystery of the lion and the wild cats. And we hold our domestic animals close. The one I call God Dog. Because no matter when you show up, love is present. And for me, I love the cat energy. So just imagine your beautiful felines who bless you and invite you in their space. Remember our elders, our ancestors. Hold light for our children, the illumination of the way. Our early biblical scholars who came through this called Jesus the way shower, our elder brother. And we know that we are a reflection of this sacred, holy, loving, generous, compassionate. We strive to emulate these ways and bring them forward. So for this blessing, this light on the mesa that we shine every day, we are so grateful. We are so grateful. And so it is. Amen.
I feel like I'm still in the prayer space. My name is Ofra Caraballo, and I get to be your platform assistant today. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Zoomies. And for those of you in the back, if you can't see the screen, there are laminated sheets for you to follow along with us. If you would join me in our affirmation, we are an affirming, heart-centered community, co-creating spiritual evolution and illuminating pathways to the divine presence. Amen.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy, joy is my source. Joy is my power. God gives me everything I need. Oh, I give thanks for all my blessings, for gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, gives me everything I need. Oh, I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need.
Good morning. My name is Jean Dutton, and I'm the prayer chaplain for today. And I would be happy to pray after the service with anyone. Of course. Oh, thank you. I would be happy to pray with you after the service if there is something on your heart, anything, just anything. And that would be in the meditation room down the hall. And if you have, at home, if you have an urgent request, you can always call Silent Unity at 816-969-2000, and they pray for you 24 hours a day. It's wonderful. Today, my boldness is rooted in the strength of God within. When I live from the awareness of my human nature alone, I may feel weak and indecisive and fearful. However, when I claim my identity, my divine identity, and live from that, the strength of God within me prompts me to act boldly. Even when I'm hesitant, I can draw upon the presence of God within, and from that inner fortitude, act with confidence and determination. I begin every day with a silent and grateful prayer that I will live with courage and confidence. God's presence within me is my constant guide as I boldly face challenges with serenity and courage. I am so grateful for the courage from which my boldness springs. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1, verse 9. And so it is.
So it is. So we're going to try something different with this song. You've done it before with me. When I sing Breathe In, everybody from no, come your rope this way. What is your name? Yes. Rod, but 2 rows back. The 2 ladies. Yes. Everybody from them forward you're singing Breathe In with me when I sing it. And everybody behind us is going to do the desk. Behind them is going to do the desk scan. So, eyes open to the day. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out. Okay? Front and back. Let's try it. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Thank you. Nice and gently, Nelson. Hands up to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Then circling around down to the earth, eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands like branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out. Rising like a stalk of grain. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Eyes circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Very well done. Great job, guys. Thank you. What a team. What a team. Good morning, dear ones. I invite you, as we prepare for meditation, to just be comfortable where you are. Release anything on your lap if you need to. Feet on the floor if you would like. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Breathe in, breathe out. Recognizing that the only place we can breathe in and breathe out is in this moment. And so releasing thoughts of what happened earlier today, thoughts of what will happen later, being fully present in the lusciousness of this moment, we allow ourselves to be reminded that there is only one power, presence, mind, life, and intelligence, and that is God. Spirit, the universe, the infinite, the divine, whatever we choose to call it. And because there is only one, and we are the essence, expression, and experience of that one, that means that we see with the eyes of God. We hear with the ears of God. We speak with the mouth of God, and we feel with the heart of God. And as we consider the concept of boldness, and that wonderful reading that Jean shared with us, consider boldness in your life, boldly looking at the areas that no longer serve you, the old stories, the old hurts, the anything unlike love that you've carried with you. What shall we release today? What shall we leave on the wayside today so that we can move into that better, greater, more wonderful life? Let us go into the silence now. So in this recognition, we allow ourselves to move forward in boldness, releasing what no longer serves us, saying yes, thank you, and more please to the good that life has for us. For our time together for this beloved spiritual community, we give great thanks. And together we say, and so it is.
We are walking, it is spring. A resting robin starts to sing. A week ago, when all was snow, we couldn't dream of any green. Now with sunlight pouring down, warming up this hopeful ground, a budding leaf, a gentle breeze, a pregnant squirrel perched in a tree. Yeah, change is good, change is true, from skies of gray to endless blue, the turning earth, the breaking dawn, a nesting bird, a baby fawn, a pile of leaves turns into sun. Change is good, 'cause change is God. Summer, fall, winter, spring, a changing world, tilting world changes everything. Yeah, change your view, change your heart, and gratitude is a good place to start. Yeah, change is hard and change is slow. You've come so far, with so far to go. You're feeling old, you're feeling weak, you're getting stronger, you're at your peak. This blessed journey we are on. Change is hard, 'cause we're changing God. A tender touch, a burning love can change the world because it changes us. A holy night, an Easter morn, here comes the light, and we are born. Yeah, change is good, and change is proof that we are growing, that we can move. When something's wrong, you're not alone. We sing our song, we stumble home. A warming fire, a clearing fog. Change is good, 'cause we're changing God. Change is good, 'cause change is God.
So that was my talk. It's been nice to be with you. Have a nice day. That was just amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. My pleasure. So good morning again, dear ones, to those of you in this very room in this moment. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening to those of you, the Zoomies, who are watching from somewhere else. Greetings if you're watching the recording later, and welcome. It is my honor and great privilege to be with you today, and thank you so much, Reverend Tracy, for the opportunity. So we went stomping all over the Rockies yesterday and just had an amazing time. Just such a beautiful experience. So great to be here. Yesterday, something changed. The weather actually got a little warmer, I think. The plants and flowers in your garden, our physical body, maybe a relationship, maybe a job situation. Something changed. Sometimes it's very noticeable and right in our face. Sometimes not so, but something changed. Some people will say, change is good. My response may be, great, you start. We human beings very often fear change. Even if it's something we consciously chose, we could have that fear of what's next for us. Fear of, are we jumping out of the frying pan into the fire? Someone I used to work with used to say, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And interesting concept, but You can go with that or not. If we step into something new, fear of failure, fear of being shamed or being embarrassed. If you're in the medical profession, you know this, or even if you're not, you may know this, and I didn't until fairly recently. The amygdala, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, is that part of our brain that senses a change coming, and we get the fight, flight, flee, or there's one or two other F's, and I forget, but you get what it is, that we are wired to not be happy and not be wanting change. I recently found a wonderful book titled The 5 Invitations, Discovering What Death Can Teach Us About Life by Frank Ostaseski. And he says, first slide, next one. There we go. Fragility and impermanence are in the nature of life. It's just all, my word, it's just all always coming together and falling apart, not just the physical properties of life and not just at the time of death. And it's possible to hold it all in love and compassion. So that's what we're about today, is the love and compassion piece and the boldness piece through these inevitable changes in our lives. Whether we stop to recognize it or not, the collective we, have been through a lot of change in the last few years. Remember the days of the pandemic, and we couldn't get together as a spiritual community. We couldn't travel. We couldn't do the things that we were used to doing. We might have worked for a particular company or in a certain industry prior to the pandemic, and then after that, our jobs changed or maybe went away. Industries changed or went away. Industries blossomed and grew. Was Zoom even around before the pandemic? The nice people that bring you the boxes from Amazon, they didn't do anywhere near that before the pandemic. The nice people from DoorDash that bring you dinner, that was not much of an industry until the pandemic. Changes. Industries were born, industries grew, industries changed. Relationships, and before and after the pandemic and today, relationships change, sometimes in ways that we expected and welcomed and embraced, sometimes in ways we didn't expect. Mary Morrissey says that relationships never end, because where is the relationship but in our hearts and in our minds? So the relationship doesn't end, it just changes. If you've spent any time reading the Bible, you might remember that so many times the story starts with, and it came to pass. In fact, more than 450 times, and I did not sit and count them all, I promise, but I found that on the internet. More than 450 times in the Bible, the story starts with, and it came to pass. So something happened, and then it ended or it changed and moved on. Our dream vacation, my family and I used to spend a couple of weeks during the summer in Vail. Absolutely amazing. Hawaii, on a chaise lounge by the pool, perhaps with an adult beverage. But unless you have a really big prosperity consciousness, at some point we have to go home. It came to pass. Now, if you have that prosperity consciousness, please talk with Reverend Tracy, because you're going to need to be tithing on 10% of whatever that is. But that's a whole separate conversation. it came to pass. Those good, wonderful, amazing experiences, those heartbreaking, dreadful experiences came to pass. Sometimes we label that change in our lives as either good or bad. But my experience has been, when I look at it, very often that change that I didn't want and I didn't expect was the best thing that could have happened. One of my favorite quotes, and next slide please, is from the 17th century samurai poet Mizuta Masahide. "The barns burned down, now I can see the moon." How often have we had a change in our lives? It's not what we wanted, it's not what we expected, it broke our hearts, and yet, maybe years later, we can look back and say, no, that's not what I consciously chose, no, that's not what I wanted, but it's the best thing that could have happened in the moment. But whether we consciously chose it or not, that change can bring a big emotional reaction. So in Unity and New Thought, we tend to focus on the positive. All is well. Everything is in divine order. Everything is as it should be. Don't worry, be happy. Never give up. And all of those statements are absolutely true. But the fact may be that our hearts are breaking. Next slide, please. You may be familiar with, there we go. You may be familiar with the terms toxic positivity and spiritual bypass. When something happens, and especially something that we weren't expecting, we try to make ourselves and others feel better, that you'll be okay. Everything is in divine order. Everything is as it should be. When someone makes their transition, they're in a better place. And all of those things are absolutely true. And you see some of the things that we might say to ourselves in toxic positivity, and then in spiritual bypass, which, and I love this is also referred to as avoidance and holy drag. Everything happens for a reason. Good thoughts only. Just be grateful for what you do have. And again, all of these statements are true, but our hearts may be breaking. And we may be in fear and anger and terror about what happens next. We might pretend that things are fine when they're not. We might blame ourselves for whatever happened. We might stay busy to avoid feeling what we feel, or use something outside of ourselves to make ourselves feel better. That pizza that you were just going to eat half of, that bottle of red wine that you're just going to have one glass of, that pint of Ben and Jerry's that you're going to have a couple of bites and put away somehow disappeared. Now, see, that's the one difference, because as you well know, once you open a pint of ice cream, it's not good later. So if you open it, you really should just go ahead, right? Am I right? Just go ahead and have that, because leftover ice cream is just not the same. This topic is really big for me because almost 8 years ago, my husband made his transition in the airport in Houston on the way home from a conference at Unity Village. And so I went through the experience, and if you have in your life, you know it's a different experience when someone dies in a different state than where they live. So it's the making the arrangements, and what do I do, and who do I call, and how does this work? And I was amazingly, divinely guided through this whole entire process. So this happened. I flew home the next day, left his body in Houston to be cremated and then shipped home later. And I got home with 4 suitcases instead of 2 because I had his stuff as well as mine. And I sat down and started to grieve. And my ego said, no, you're a religious science minister. All is well. Everything is in divine order. Everything is as it should be, and all those other statements that we looked at a couple of minutes ago. And so I really had about 1.5 years of struggle allowing myself to grieve the loss, allowing myself to recognize that human part of me, because as we know, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, allowing myself to have that human experience. And so this is a big part of my ministry, is in giving myself and us permission to feel what we feel during a change so that we can move forward. We might pretend things are fine, and I'll talk more about that. Debbie Ford, one of my favorite authors, wrote, "What we can't be with won't let us be." So if we can be with the grief and be with the loss and be with the fear, and even when it was a change that we consciously chose, a new job, a new relationship, moving clear across the country, there can be some fear and some grief about what we left behind. Allowing ourselves to feel that, to recognize that. Next slide. So I don't know about you, but I am charming and sparkling and positive and wonderful and patient and understanding. And hateful and surly and cranky and impatient and all of those other things. Remember the writing from the Sufi mystic poet Rumi writes about the guest house, that we are all of that. We are all of that. And if we don't allow all of that, recognizing we keep it under wraps and do what we need to do, but if we don't recognize that and allow that, it can come out in surprising and wonderful ways. But so often, and especially in this teaching, we try to have that image of being perfect. But Brené Brown, one of my favorite authors, writes about perfectionism. And she writes, "Perfectionism is not the same thing as striving to be your best. Perfectionism is not about healthy achievement and growth. Perfectionism is the belief that we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect. We can minimize or avoid the pain of shame, judgment, and shame. Blame, judgment, and shame. But it's a shield. Perfectionism is a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us, when in fact it's the thing that's really preventing us from taking flight." So through this thing called life, through these experiences of change, whether we consciously chose them or not, can we boldly allow ourselves to say, "No, I'm not feeling so good today." And that's okay. Reach out to one of your dear ones here if you need to. Take care of yourself. That's what we're here to do so that we can move forward. Because we've all been through changes that we consciously chose and changes that we didn't. But Louise Hay wrote, and I think I have a slide for this. Next slide. "I am safe. It's only change. I am safe. It's only change." So I bet this has been your experience, and it's certainly been mine as we walk through these changes. It's yet another opportunity for us to question, what do we really believe about God? Again, spirit, the universe, the infinite, the divine, our higher power, Edgar, whatever you choose to call God. But what do we really believe about God? Is she the loving, nurturing presence that Jesus talked about in the New Testament? Or is he the white, straight, hateful, surly, cranky old man on a cloud someplace? If you come from traditional Christianity, this is not a bash, this is merely an observation, because I was Lutheran and had that concept of the mean old guy up on the cloud, and thankfully have gotten past that, but every once in a while get to look back and say, okay, so I've done my affirmative prayer. In religious science, we call it spiritual mind treatment. So I've done my prayer work, I've said, and so it is. Do I really believe that? It's an interesting question. That's another Sunday talk. We won't go down that road. But how important it is to be aware of what we really believe about spirit, and if we've slipped back into an old belief, recognize that, love ourselves enough to say, no, that's not the truth. Because as we know, quoting Jesus, it is done unto you as you believe. Obviously, the foundation of our teaching. I am safe. It's only change. Very often the challenge can be in not knowing what's next. It's the sacred I don't know. In this book, The Five Invitations, and just so you know, the workshop this afternoon is based on this book. And so I hope you're planning to stay with me in this wonderful, cool place. Ideally our tummies will be full, and then we'll have the opportunity to dive deeper into these 5 invitations. It's such a wonderful book about change and about allowing ourselves to feel what we feel. But in the book he writes, and next slide, please. And the 5th invitation is cultivating the don't know mind. Now, don't tell anybody, but I have the slightest bit of a need for control. So back in the day, I worked for a technology company and would go and visit clients, and so I printed my directions before GPS, printed my directions out of MapQuest and would carry them with me, and away we go. But the problem was, if you make a wrong turn, how do you get back? I did that one time, and I actually was visiting another church outside of Chicago, and got there, had my directions printed, got there with no problem. It was wonderful, did my thing, and then headed back to downtown Chicago and made a wrong turn. And it was dark, and these were 2-lane roads. So what I figured was, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So if I go away from the sunset, I'll be going east, and I will either find the interstate or fall into Lake Michigan. And the good news is, I found the interstate. We want to know. I want to know what I'm having for dinner tonight. I want to know what my life is going to be 6 months, a year, 5 years from now. But can we allow ourselves to not know and to live in this faith and trust that we are always loved, always nurtured, always divinely guided, and allow Spirit to do what Spirit does? So in the book, he writes, "Don't know mind is not limited by agendas, roles, and expectations. It is free to discover. When we are filled with knowing, when our minds are made up, it narrows our vision, obscures our ability to see the whole picture, and limits our capacity to act. We only see what our knowing allows us to see, but the wise person is both compassionate and humble and knows that she does not know." Can we say, I don't know? but I'm safe. It's only change. I was in Tampa in March. We did Reverend Tracy mentioned, I'm the board president of the affiliated New Thought Network, Anton. We do this is a shameless commercial, so go with me. We do an amazing retreat every year at the first week in October at Unity Village. And if you've not been to Unity Village, take it off your bucket list and consider coming and being with us this year. Reverend Tracy's coming. I'll be there, obviously. Reverend Dr. Howard Caesar of Unity is our keynote speaker. It's just Jamie Lynn Floyd. No, Jamie Lula and Gary Lynn Floyd will be our musicians. An amazing experience. Anton, ANTN.org. Early bird discount pricing for registration until the end of the month. So please do keep that in mind. And there was a point to this, and I wonder where I was going. Tampa, thank you. Thank you for that. So we did a board retreat at this amazing place outside of Louisville, Kentucky, and then I flew on to Tampa to speak at Unity of Palm Harbor, and then was flying home Sunday night. So did my thing, and it was absolutely wonderful, and got to the airport, and there's some massive weather front over the country. And so the planes have to go around the weather front to get wherever they're going. And so I'm flying with my friends at United, my airline of choice, Tampa, San Francisco, San Diego. But my flight is delayed. And my flight is delayed. And my flight is delayed. And my flight is delayed so long that I'll be getting into San Francisco after my connection to San Diego. And my ego says, okay, well, remember Wayne Dyer says ego stands for edging God out. My ego says, okay, well, you should be able to get a hotel room by the airport in San Francisco and go home the next day. And you just call in sick from work. Or sleep in the airport. Or, I don't know. And the still small voice said, I got this. Quoting our beloved friend, and you may know or know of, Edwene Gaines, she said, would you be willing to consider the possibility that Spirit has ways of bringing your good to you that you hadn't thought of yet? So to make a long story even longer, I'm sitting waiting for the plane, and it's getting later and later. And so we finally got on the plane, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but it'll be okay. So it turns out the pilots who were flying from Tampa to San Francisco were the same pilots flying from San Francisco to San Diego. So they couldn't go to San Diego without them, which means they couldn't go to San Diego without me. What? So the good news is I hit the bed about 1:45 Monday morning, but it was my bed, which was wonderful. When we go through changes, can we say, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know what's next for me, but I know Spirit's got this, and I know that it will turn out to be better than I could have imagined. And I might not see it today. I might not see it for months or years, but I'll be able to look back and say, wow. I know you've had that experience in your life. It's so wonderful, and that's what we're here to do, is to boldly say, I don't know, and it's okay. That's what we're here for. Because, next slide, quoting Course in Miracles, I could see peace instead of this. I could get really upset, get me on a different connecting flight, get me on another flight, do something, I've got to get home. But I could see peace instead of this and just allow my life and my experiences and those changes to unfold, knowing that I am always loved, I am always divinely guided, I am always supported. So I love Facebook. People always laugh when I say that, and that's okay. I don't have I have no financial dealings with Facebook or Meta. I don't have emotional attachment. It's just the greatest place to go because admittedly there's some goofy stuff there, but we can just keep scrolling. We just keep scrolling to find the good stuff, and I find so many great quotes to share with you posted on Facebook. And so I'd like to share, in closing, I'd like to share one more. So next slide. Oops. That did not make the slides. I apologize. So listen to these words from Facebook. Life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And in between the amazing and the awful is ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing. Hold on through the awful and relax and exhale during the ordinary. That's just living. Heartbreaking, soul-healing, amazing, awful, ordinary life, and it's breathtakingly beautiful. And my closing thought for you, and I hope that you'll join me for a deeper dive into all of this afternoon, my closing thought for you is keep your fork. Growing up, and I bet this was your experience as well, we'd go to grandma's house or aunt's house or somebody's house for dinner, and we'd somehow make our way through the meatloaf and the boiled Brussels sprouts and maybe the cooked turnip if you're from the Northeast, which is just totally disgusting. And then when we cleaned our plates, somebody, probably grandma, or somebody would say, keep your fork. Because we knew something really good was coming. The chocolate cake, the cheesecake, the apple turnover, the whatever. So as we go through these experiences, the opportunity always is for us to keep our fork. So great to be with you today. Namaste.
How delicious was that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is that time in our service to give. And first, we always give thanks. Thanks for every heart in this room, every heart on Zoom. Thank you for your presence and holding the light. Thank you for everybody who gives, all the different ways that we give. We give of our time, our treasures, our gifts. Thank you to Jackie, making delicious sliders. You might need a fork because they're going to be delicious and they're going to spill over, so keep your fork. Thank you for all the ways you give. And I want you to hold that intention, whether you're giving electronically, giving online, but join me in our affirmation. We hold our gifts to our hearts and fill it with the intention of grace, love, peace, knowing that it goes out into the world blessed and multiplied. Serve community to the fullest, and so it is. Ushers, will you please step forward? Joe, take it away.
Thank you. You should all know this. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a purpose to every purpose, under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time that you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
Thank you, Joe. Do we have any kiddos today? Yes. While we wait for the kiddos, if you would tap into your childlike heart and hold space for them. Here they come.
Hello, everybody. This is Serenity.
Hey, Serenity.
And we've had a really nice time together today. We played outside. We did push-ups with Nelson. And blew bubbles. And what did you learn today? Did you learn anything?
Well, I've learned lots of stuff.
Well, we did lots of things. So I learned something about Serenity today. She told me. Oh, Joe. Joe. Oh.
Again, I practiced getting up off the floor.
Yay. So there's a whole other thing you learned about.
There's more to be learned.
Right? That's what I just said. So anyway, I learned something about Serenity today, that she loves art. Do you have any projects you want to talk about?
I've been doing a calendar for my family.
So she's doing a calendar for her family. Thanks for coming today, Serenity. We're going to do the Unity Youth and Family Ministry affirmation. You want to stand up with us and do that? Okay, everybody. We affirm that our children are drawn here in love and joy. They come with open hearts, curious and guided by Spirit. Together we create a sacred, playful space where young hearts are welcome. And as they arrive, our community grows brighter and more alive. And so it is. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, but I want to keep it.
Thank you. And if we have any newcomers, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here. Let you know that we are the people you were warned about. We are the ones who dare to tap into our audacity and claim our oneness with our source. And we thank you. And we invite you to come and eat with us and get to know us a little better. We have sliders of all kinds. Down to the right and to the left. Just follow your nose. There are a few announcements, but first, our board vice president has some words for you.
You know I can't let a Sunday pass, it seems. Okay, I'm not talking about the metaphysical fair today, but it's coming. But I have been asked by our board, representing our board, to give a special thanks. In case you haven't heard, we have a new roof over the part of the building that includes the fellowship hall. We've waited for it a long time. It was completed a couple of weeks ago. Last month, Reverend Tracy extended a special invitation to make a designated donation toward offsetting the cost of the roof. It's already paid for. We just want to offset the cost. And a number of people responded with very generous donations. I'm going to not name names because you know who you are. But the Board of Trustees would particularly like to thank and express appreciation for your support and generosity toward that project. Thank you. Thank you, those of you on Zoom watching us. The opportunity still remains. If you so choose to express your prosperity through a donation designated for the roof and separate from your regular offering in whatever amount is comfortable for you. You may make a gift in any of the usual ways that you see we usually post on our website or on the screen here, whether it's online or in person, checks or cash or credit card, all are accepted. And again, I would like to thank you and those who have already given, and I know that we will be swimming in money for the roof as soon as possible. So thank you. And there's more projects coming, so that's a good reason why we want to refill our coffers. And so go in peace. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay. Mike, thank you for the flowers. These are from Mike's garden. All right, Westside Cares, Christmas in July. There is a big box out there, wrapped like a gift, beckoning your gifts of food. Canned soups, canned chicken. I'm gonna say canned tuna too, because I like canned tuna. Canned fruit, peanut butter, jelly, adult-sized t-shirts, socks, underwear, large, extra large, deodorant, toiletries. Thank you in advance for your generosity. The box is open. Fill it. Fellowship potluck. We've all been bringing sliders. Please join us today after service in Fellowship Hall for our sliders and ice cream bar potluck. Please be mindful that we'll have Reverend Jerry. You've had a taste. I know you want more. He's going to do a workshop in the back. It starts at noon, and if you're still eating, you can listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth. You got this. Sacred Women's Circle. Full moon is coming. Perfect opportunity to let go of that stuff suggested by Reverend Jerry. Monday, 27th, tomorrow, 2 to 4, here in the sanctuary for drumming and fellowship. We have limited drums. Bring your own tambourines. You can bring a pot and a spoon if you need to, but just come and make a joyful noise. Mental Grace Group. I'll stand over here. Hi, I'm Ofra Caraballo, and I facilitate the Mental Grace Group. The Mental Grace Group is an opportunity for us to actually practice what we preach. It combines unity principles with trauma-informed strategies to help cope and not fake it to make it. We're not doing the spiritual bypass, right? We're not doing the toxic positivity. We're learning real skills of how to honor what we feel, using our principles, and moving through it. It is tomorrow. It's the last Monday of each month. It is free to the community. Bring yourself, bring your friends, but it is a sacred space to feel whatever it is you feel. We get Joe Uvega in surround sound next week, people. Come August 2nd. Joe is going to share his wisdom and his music. Can't wait.
Thanks.
And as always, Afra can forget stuff. And there's always stuff happening because we are a busy little community. So check your newsletters, check Facebook, the bulletin board, the calendars, all wonderful ways to find out what's going on here at Unity. Thank you so much for your love and your light. If you would please stand. If you cannot stand, stand mentally, but stand. And we're gonna sing and pray out. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. Way our family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And while you're holding hands, hello, wait. We have a prayer. We're going to say our prayer and hold in your consciousness anyone you know in need of prayer. Thank you to the care team for holding people, the prayer chaplains for holding people. So as we say this prayer, hold in consciousness anyone that you know need prayer, not in fear, but in knowing. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you.